Hi, I'm Greg Campbell with Fortis Pilates. Today I'm going to show you how to fold and unfold our Illuminu Elite Studio Folding Reformer. So I've got one of these reformers right here. One thing you'll notice is I've already got the shoulder rest and the shoulder rest post attached. You can go ahead and leave those on when you fold and unfold the reformer. It's up to you. You can take them off as well if you want. That's obviously easy to do. So the first thing I'll show you is how do you maneuver this thing and roll it around. So I'll turn it a bit so you can see how I do this. So there's a crossbar that's at the top. And all you have to do is take an over-under grip, grab the crossbar so you've got it nice and secure, brace a foot on the bottom of the reformer frame and just tip the reformer towards you, okay? Now I can drive this around and I can turn it. And if I want to unfold it, which is what I want to do, I want to make sure that the carriage side is actually lined up with where I want the front of the reformer to be when it's unfolded. Because when I go ahead and unfold this, only the back is going to slide. The front is going to stay exactly where it is, okay? So the next step is I have to unlock the two parts of the frame from each other. So there's two clasps on either side. So I just open those up. That's very easy to do. I'll open up the other one. So now these two parts of the frame, as you can see, they're not attached to each other anymore. So to unfold the reformer, what I do is I take one of my hands, actually it'll be the inside hand, I grab the crossbar. My outside hand, I grab the frame, and then I can just basically pull forward, okay? And you'll see it starts to open, okay? So I've got control of this. I can just let it open, but you'll see the front stays where it is. It doesn't move, right? So I let that come all the way down. In fact, I'm gonna move it a little bit because I wanted it a little bit more over here for my video. Okay, so I've got this reformer down now. And now what I'll do is I'll unlock the carriage. The carriage right now is locked in by the foot bar. So I pull the foot bar towards me, I rotate it, and I allow it to lock into whatever position that I want. I've got all these springs attached here, so I'll just disconnect those. Okay, so now my carriage is able to move the whole distance, and I can adjust my carriage stoppers. So when I first unfold the reformer, the carriage stoppers are going to be in the innermost position. And there's actually 5 different positions you can adjust the carriage stopper to, depending on your hip mobility, your height, the exercises you're doing. So for me, I'd usually adjust it up to the middle one, right? And I want to do that on both sides, right? And the carriage stoppers, they just insert, right? So you just pull them out and insert them. And then obviously now the carriage is docking a little bit further away. If I want it further, I can just move the carriage stopper to one of the holes that is further away, right? And then I could obviously connect my springs, whichever springs I wanted to use, I can go ahead and connect those on to the carriage as well. So now we'll move down to the rear posts. So each of the rear posts will actually have 3 holes. So you have a choice of the height, and then there's a single hole in the back of the frame. Right? So obviously which hole I choose on the post is going to adjust the height of the post. So you want to make sure the pulley obviously is facing towards the front of the reformer. And then what you need to do is line up this hole with the hole in the frame. And a lot of times the easiest way to do that is to actually take a look. And you'll see when that hole is lined up. And then you can take your knob and you just insert it into the hole and find, like you'll feel it when it clicks in, and then you just screw it in. So like this one I've got, I just snug that up hand tight, and now I have a nice secure rear post. I can do the same thing on the other side. I take my post, I insert it. I take a quick look to see when the hole is lined up. There it is. And then I take my knob and I screw in the post. All right, so I've got my rear posts attached. Let's move on to the ropes. Okay, so let's get the ropes attached now. And you get 2 of these ropes, obviously. And one end has the straps attached, and the other end is just a straight end of the rope. So what you'll do is you'll take your long loop, you'll drop that over the shoulder rest. Then you'll take your rope and you'll insert it through the pulley. And it doesn't matter which way because the pulley can spin. And then you'll pull that tight, and then what you want to do, you'll see the locking mechanism has a metal U, we call that the retaining clip, then the locking mechanism, and then a vertical hole through that metal post. So what you want to do, make sure you insert the rope through that metal gate, okay? Then you can insert it through the hole that goes down. Then you can pull the rope tight. Okay, so I pull it tight, and you'll see when you pull it tight, it'll engage that locking mechanism. Okay, so that rope is now attached. If I do the same thing on the other side, you'll get a little bit of a better view. Okay, I'll put that on the shoulder rest. I insert the rope through the pulley. I bring it forward. And what I'll do is, let me insert it incorrectly this time. So I won't go through this metal gate. I'm just going to go straight through the hole to the bottom. I'll engage the locking mechanism. And let me show you why it's so important to use this metal clip. If I now take this rope and try to use it, because of the angle, it pulls out and releases. Well, you don't want that, right? Especially if you're using it, you don't want it to suddenly release. The point of this metal clip is it will keep the rope down in the locking mechanism. It can't release. So I'll pull it tight again. So now if I use this, no matter what angle I pull at, right, the rope locking mechanism is going to stay engaged. You don't have to worry about that, okay? So then I just drop my straps onto the rear posts, and that's it. I've got the reformer ready for use. So I could go ahead, use the reformer, complete my workout, and then when I was finished and I wanted to fold the reformer back up, basically it is the exact process we just did in reverse. Okay, so let's run through the process in reverse. Ropes come off first, so I just drop those, and then I disconnect the locking mechanism, pull the rope through, and then, whoops, pull it through the pulley. And I do the same thing on the other side, pull it through, and then I can pull it through the pulley. Okay, so I've got those ropes out of the way. For the rear posts, I just unscrew the knobs, and the rear posts pull out. So out and out. There we go. Okay. So now we head over to the front of the reformer. I'll slide along here, and I'll disconnect my spring. And I have to move the carriage stoppers to the innermost position. That's really important. We need to be able to have the carriage come forward all the way. So I move my carriage stoppers into that innermost position. I can then move my reformer forward, and I usually like to just disconnect the springs. It keeps the springs from clanging around when the reformer is folded. So what I'll usually do is just drop every spring onto the lowest tier. I find that usually works the best for me. Okay, and then I'll take my foot bar, pull it forward, rotate it to the full down position, and lock it in. So now this foot bar is locking against the carriage. This carriage is now, or this reformer is now ready to be folded. That process is the exact opposite of what we did at the start. So I'm going to grab that crossbar, I'm going to pull up, only the back is going to move. It's going to come and close forward. Okay, so I want to be ready for that. So usually what I'll do is I'll grab the crossbar with the inside hand, with the outside hand I'll have the frame, and then I'll just pull up. Okay, and I can guide it in and let it close. Okay, then what I want to do is lock the two parts of the frame together just using that clasp. Okay, so I'll lock on the one clasp, lock the other clasp, take my over-under grip again, brace the frame, tip the reformer, and now I can move the reformer to wherever I want and get it put away. Okay, so a very straightforward process to fold and unfold this studio reformer. Once you get the hang of it, it's about 2 or 3 minutes to fold or unfold it. It's very quick to change the configuration of these machines.